What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite director's favorite director, and in the famous words of Alison De Laurentiis, did you miss me? Hello, hello, hello. It is good to be back again. This should be a short turnaround for you guys, and I'm so excited for you guys because I've already seen it, but not yet. No, I'm just kidding. No, it should be a short turnaround for you guys. You guys should be getting this video pretty quickly after my last video, and my last video was fun. I just went, I threw on a hoodie, and I turned my hat around. But I'm filming this all in the same night, mostly because I literally could not wait to get into the next episode, because I'm excited to see what happens next. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the introduction. All is well in the world when I have my cup of orange juice and I'm sitting here watching a TV show with you guys. All right. Yeah, you guys know what time it is. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the show. As always, how are you? How's your mental health? Are you taking care of yourself? How are you feeling? If you're here, great. It's good to have you. Sit back, grab something to eat. Let's do it. Let's get into it. There's no reason to sit here and dilly-dally.
What? Well, we have come to believe that there are relevant tape recordings related to the murder of Jose and Kitty Menendez.
Erik, I would like to make it clear that I in no way violated the confidentiality of my patients.
I think it's... Hold on. Let's see if we stayed true to it, you guys. 2 minutes and 1 second. I think it's interesting that, like, as they're going through the house and they're talking to him about, like, why they're going through and they're searching his house, the wife is like, it was her, like, she did it, da da da. Like, that's what you're most concerned about. You're not concerned at the fact that, like, your man has been, like, actively sitting in a room with two people who have confessed to killing their parents, and there's really still been no motive given. Like, they could literally just be killers. So, like, that's just crazy. It's crazy, right? Like girl, get your priorities straight. The wife is interesting. Now, he done knew. He knew if he was gonna mess with Juju, she was gonna act like this. He knew if he was gonna mess with Juju, she was gonna act like this. And then Juju wouldn't act like this. Now he wants to be surprised. It's just like, come on, babe. You knew.
Oh, get around the fucking confidentiality thing, and then they get their hands on those fucking tapes, then I am fucked! I am fucked! I'm fucked!
God, guys, I really don't want to pause this much, but I don't know how not to. I hope you guys still love me, even though I pause this much. Because, dude, first of all, you are sitting on the couch that the parents got killed on. There's just no respect. There's just no respect. Again, guys, we're talking before the allegations, before the truth came out, before the sexual abuse was even talked about. You are sitting on the couch. Even if the sexual abuse claims did come out, you're still sitting on a couch where people were killed on. Blood is on that couch. It is soaked into those cushions. And I saw that they tried to cover it with that ugly ass blanket in the background. And also, if you haven't figured out by now, Glenn, and what is his other name? Landon, Lyle, Carl, Eugene. I really don't know what the other friend's name is. This is so bad. But even if he doesn't, like, if you guys haven't figured it out by the way that he's reacting, like, if they get overwhelmed, climb her, then I'm fucked. Like, babes, yeah, he did it. Your friend did it. He did it.
There's no way that I was going to make a decision to kill my mother without Erik's consent. I didn't even want to influence him on the issue.
They love showing us Lyle's body. The toupee. I forgot. Oh, this is gonna be so bad for him. Light him up.
Listen, I'm gonna call my buddy, Robert Shapiro, top criminal attorney. He can help us handle this.
Jesus Christ. Can't live in that.
He got a cellmate and everything. Yo, this is kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy. Okay, so Erik is in Israel because he is supposed to be in a tennis tournament, and he's being told to get back home now because you don't want to be. That is true. I agree with that. LYLE is kind of, how the fuck do we get here, bro? How did we get here? Well, I'll tell you how. You killed your parents. That's how. I don't. Ooh. Sorry, guys. We're starting to finally get into the thick of it. We got past the crime. Now we're about to start to get into like the behind the bars and everything like that. All right. Oh, wow. This is going to be interesting. Okay. Okay.
It's okay. You don't have to handcuff me.
Sorry. It's regulation.
Not the pee stain. Oh no. I can't do the gagging. I won't do the gagging.
It's just us now, E. Robert, it's like impossible to get any goddamn dimes in here.
Lyle, focus. We just have to tell them a more compelling story than the prosecution, okay?
The Bambinos, focus on them.
Am I tripping, or does he have bruises on his face? Or is he just, is it the makeup? Is it the fluorescent lights? It looks like he's getting beat. I could be tripping. I don't know. But it looks like he's got like bruises on his face, and his makeup makes him look really pale. And it's interesting to see. And this is a more common thing that you see with defense attorneys is you have to spin a different story than what the prosecution is spinning. The prosecution is saying, most likely going to say they killed their parents for the money. They didn't want to wait around, or they were potentially going to get cut out of the will. So before that could happen, they killed their parents. The defense will then come in and say, because really the burden lies on the prosecution, because they have to basically prove beyond a reasonable doubt, right? So the burden lies on the prosecution in this state. The defense, all they have to do is tell a more compelling story, or which is what he's saying, or tell a more believable story. What's more believable? And I will say this, some people are going to find it more difficult to believe that two children are capable of killing their parents. Some people are going to find it less difficult to believe that. So it can really go either way. But what the defense attorney and LYLE are trying to do right now is kind of focus on one of the families, kind of go back to that mafia thing, kind of that dad's business kind of caused this, even though they're kind of caught. They're caught and the tapes came out. So it's just kind of like there's so much proof that it's like it wasn't the families. So it's just like it's interesting to see that they're still kind of, which is what you do as a defense attorney. It's literally your job. Your job is to lie.
Eric, you gotta eat.
I get it. Can I have your milk?
I'm gonna get killed in here.
Come on, man, what the fuck?
You guys, come on, leave this man alone. He's just trying to live his life. Dicks are out, they're swinging, and y'all stealing his toupee. Come on. It's not even funny. It's really not funny. Fuck, man, this poor guy.
I feel like if we can get through this, we can get through anything.
Oh, Jamie. Girl, have some respect for yourself. Have some damn respect for yourself, talking about if we can get through this, we can get through anything. Girl, stand up.
It's the tape that keeps the edges down.
Why is there milk in the toilet?
That's where I keep it cold.
Can't clean it right in here.
Lyle, is that my toothbrush?
There's so much happening in this scene. I don't even know how to explain how I'm feeling. So, and we're jumping from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene pretty quickly, and it's just a way to speed up the storytelling. But they're kind of doing it in a a decent way. But what I like is kind of seeing, first of all, knowing where they come from. They come from money, so they're used to living like lavish and large, which is why in the beginning Lyle's like, I can't live in there because it's so small, it's so confined, and you're like an animal, right? And now we're kind of seeing how they're kind of adjusting to prison life. And I don't know why fucking Erik, all he's doing is drinking milk. I guess we'll hopefully find that out, but Lyle is kind of trying to adapt the best he can, and this poor toupee is giving him the most trouble. But Erik is kind of, I guess in a way you can say that Lyle was kind of made for this and prepped for this, like in his persona and in his attitude, like I'm gonna take no shit kind of thing. But like Erik is very much kind of the submissive, so he'll kind of be the one who's more likely to kind of be targeted in this situation. So it's just interesting seeing him be so paranoid.
Grandma, you fucking moron! I don't need money, I need dimes!
Uncle Carlos, we had absolutely nothing to do with the murders.
He likes them. That's gonna be his boo thing. I said it and I meant what I said. I said it and I meant what I said. I said it and I meant what I said. I meant what I said. That's gonna be his boo. That's gonna be his boo. You watch. That's gonna be his boo. You just watch. I was gonna say something. Oh, what I was gonna say was, it's interesting that we're so stuck on the dimes, right? And I think that that's just to hold some type of to hold on to some part of your life. You have to keep talking to that part of your life. But it's also interesting because Lyle is so he like has latched onto the dimes, and I'm wondering if that's like a mechanism to cope with what's happening to him. It's kind of like a place to focus his attention, and if I can conquer this and if I can get dimes, then I have some type of control. I can control that narrative, or I can control this. And so I think that that's really interesting, because it's like, here's $100, you can get all, you should be, or here's $50, you should be able to get a bunch of dimes, or here's $100, go figure out how to get dimes for it. So it's just interesting because it's like the way that the monetary value has changed. Now hundreds and millions, what you're so used to, means absolutely nothing. Now a dime holds more weight than $1 million. That's interesting.
And I will give it to you for 2 dimes. 2.
Not the 2 dimes.
See you around. Yeah, see ya.
Hey, where are we with Castro? Is there any movement on that? Because, you know, everything with my father, it all fucking comes back to Cuba.
I just wanted to see where that was going to go before I pause so I can talk about this whole Erik situation. I think it's interesting with Erik because it almost feels like he's going to be the one to, and it's weird to say, but I feel like he is going to be the one to better adapt to this situation. Lyle is very much still trying to control the narrative. He's still trying to convince everybody. Erik is kind of just like, yeah, if we did it, and this is kind of like the consequence of that. Like, this is what we get, essentially. So I think that that's interesting. I think it's interesting to almost see the dynamic flip and switch. And right now we're getting to a point where like the defense attorney is getting ready to be like, you guys, like the narrative that you keep trying to spin, it's done. It's over with. We need to really start talking about why you would kill your parents now. I think that's what we're getting ready to do.
Then there isn't a fucking jury on this planet that is going to believe that we did this.
Because we didn't.
Because we didn't.
Is that a sauna?
Oh my God. It's an electric chair. Oh, it's a gas chamber.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
But you're not sympathetic people. You're rich and spoiled, and that's the type of person folks love to hate. I told you to smile. Be respectful. Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
I love that he said, you guys are the people that love, or you guys are the people that people love to hate, because it is so true. I think especially nowadays, like with everything being filmed and on TikTok or social media in general, like when you're watching trials and cases like that, like I myself find myself on the side of TikTok very often where it's like, Court, I love watching Bose versus the World. She's always watching true crime and going over things like cases and whatnot. And one thing that you always see is kind of, you know, that we tend to all agree when it comes to courtroom etiquette or criminal behavior. We all agree that there's this very specific way that you're supposed to act. If you don't act that way, we are automatically going to send your ass to the chamber, the chair, the needle, like whatever you want to call it. So what he said is, we talked about your guys' arraignment. You looked like psychopaths. I told you to smile, be respectful, and you didn't do that. And then, of course, they have a million different excuses for why they didn't do it. But what the defense attorney's job is to do a couple of different things, right? It's to make their clients be more relatable, first of all, appear sincere, and it's also to essentially kind of shade the victims. So I just think that it's so interesting, that there's so much brutal honesty in what he's saying, because if you don't act a certain way, we are ready to send your ass. We're sending you down. And even if you do act a certain way, what's funny is it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. If we believe that you did it and we know that you did it, and yeah, those are two different things. Obviously, innocent until proven guilty is what we all say. But like, if we believe that you did this, we are going to still kind of find the little nuances in the little things that you do. You walked into the court with your head held a little bit too high there, buddy. So it's just kind of like, no matter what, but like they truly are spoiled. Like they truly are rich and spoiled. And I'm sure that especially in the 90s when this was going on, that was felt even more, like the anger and the hatred for people who were arrogant because they believed that because they had money they could get away with everything. And I think that that's the narrative. You think that you can get away with this because you have money, and that's not what we're gonna let fly. And also, we're gonna make an example out of you. We don't care how much money you have. If you commit a crime, you are going to be punished.
I'm just talking about the stuff that went on before that.
It's like you said, it does have to do with mom and dad. Stuff just happens sometimes, Eric. It's just being boys.
Wow. That's tough. It's just being boys. Goodness gracious, I cannot even explain how tough that is. Yeah, no, I think that that's something that we hear pretty often, or that we used to hear pretty often, right? That boys will be boys, or it's just boys being boys, and that's just what it's like to be a boy, and that's what it's like to be a man. That's what it's like to be a man. Goodness gracious, get out of here. I think it's interesting, and it's kind of letting me in, and I was going to say that I was gonna ask why LYLE is so hesitant, because Erik clearly is kind of leaning towards kind of like, well, maybe we should just tell the truth. Like, it would help people understand why we were in that state of mind, versus LYLE's very much like, oh, like, it's not going to help anything. Like, that's just what, it sucks, but it just kind of happens sometimes. And I don't think that that's true. I don't think that it just kind of happens sometimes. That's not to say that I don't think that it happens. I do think that it happens. And unfortunately, I think it happens more often than it's obviously talked about, especially during this time. And I said that in the first video, or the first episode, time plays such a huge factor. It was probably unacceptable to talk about, and boys didn't talk about that. That shit didn't happen to boys, and if it did, you keep your mouth shut. You shut your mouth. And I think that that's kind of where LYLE's like where Lyle's at, and Lyle's the older one, so he, I think, is definitely in that space of like, you keep your mouth shut. It's unacceptable to talk about anything like that, so we're not going to talk about that. And Erik is very much like, but I need to talk about that. And I think that that kind of goes back to that dominant submissive, that role you see between the two.
And you fire me. Fine. There are audio tapes.
Oh shit.
Now, maybe they shouldn't have, but they have listened to them.
Oh shit. That's crazy. That's interesting. Okay, hold on. Here's the thing. Okay, one, the reason why it's so hard for anybody to believe that they did it, especially in the family, is because they're family, and because that tight bond of family. Like, no, they're family. They would never do that to their parents. But it's interesting that even when he says there are tapes, and Carlos kind of stops and he looks, and they go, and the police listen to them. And unfortunately, there are some holes that are going on, and they're probably guilty. And then everybody's like, oh, absolutely not. But it's like, bro, there are tapes. Don't you want to know what the tape said? Don't you want to know what they said? And it's like, I think that even if they confess, it's still very much like, we still love you. You're still, and you know, I used to do this thing where I was like, if my kid ever committed a crime, if my kid ever did this, I don't have kids. But when I do, and I plan on it, if my kid ever, I would do this. If my kid ever, I would A, B, C, and D. And then I realized, I think I realized that, one, babe, you'll never know what you're gonna do if your kid ever, because your kid has never. And you won't know until you're in that situation. But two, I think that this family bond, I adore my family. I love my family to death. Some of my favorite people are my family members, and some of them are not, and that's okay. But I don't think that because we're family, I'm absolutely obligated to, you know, have this connection with you or believe you. Like, unfortunately, I think too that might just be, God, that might just be society and what, like, you know, I think I've just kind of become so numb and listen, this is the best way to describe it, right? My favorite franchise of all time is Scream. And in Scream, Sydney is betrayed over and over and over again by the people closest to her. And I think that you just become so numb after a while, and in understanding that anybody is capable of anything. So I think that that's where I'm at in this situation. It's just like, anybody is capable of anything, and just because you're my family doesn't mean you're any less capable. It might be a little bit harder for me to accept, and it might be a little bit harder for me to process, but it does not mean you did not do this. And I think that at this time, in this period, in this decade, that was really hard to fathom. It is hard to fathom that two kids picked up shotguns and killed their parents. That's hard to fathom for a stranger, let alone the people who are closest to them, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins. That is hard to fathom for anybody. But if there is proof, and if the truth is the truth, I don't need to defend it. I can't fight that. I can't fight what the truth is. And the truth is that there are tapes, and on those tapes, they confess they did it. So it's just so interesting. And the lawyer is, I love this lawyer. I love this defense attorney. I love him.
You're so convinced they're innocent. The state of California is going to put them to death.
Both of them.
You like dudes, right?
I don't know, because
he's never been with a guy?
What I went through at home.
I don't know why I was gonna go. Guys, I was gonna pause you. I was getting so into it, I was gonna pause you. Okay, that's interesting. What he said there, that little slip, that little Freudian slip is what we would call that. Him going, I don't know, because of what I went through at home. And that is something that's so, so important. That abuse from his father really fucked up his mental, that map, right? That says, okay. Detective Olivia Benson. In a criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. Bum bum. Sorry guys, I have to do that every time I say Olivia Benson. In I watch a lot of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. If you didn't know that by my little bum bum, there's a thing that happens when anybody is sexually assaulted or is sexually abused. What happens is naturally our body physically reacts. And the reason that is because that's the physiological effects, right? So if something is happening to you that you don't want to happen, your brain cannot stop your body from reacting. That's not how that works. You don't have control over that. So I think in his case, his brain wasn't stopping his body from reacting. So he kind of assumed, do I like this? Like, did I want it to happen because I was reacting? And so that kind of fucks up, first of all, it fucks up sex in general, but then you add the male doing it to him. Sorry, you add a man doing it to him, so then it's even more confusing. It's like, okay, you're a man, do I like this? I don't know. So that's why he's kind of teetering that, like, first of all, I don't like that word, which fair enough, I don't like the word gay, but also, like, I don't know because of what happened to me. I don't really know. And it's true, he doesn't know. I think when he says I don't know, he genuinely doesn't know. It's not like him being like coy. He like genuinely does not know, because his whole sex life it's been so askew. It's been skewed.
We'll jump into the car and head to the 110. I think we should get plastic surgery. We need facelifts, chin implants maybe.
What's this? I don't know.
I'm just so baffled. First of all, Erik, it literally said read this once and then throw it away. And Erik, I think he's so precious, and I think he loves his brother so much that he just wanted to keep hold of it. I think that the plan is interesting. I think that they literally slayed. I mean, I don't even understand what the comparison would be. Like, who would slay harder than them in that moment? And is this accurate? I don't, and that's the tricky part, is not knowing like the story in the case. Is this accurate? Like, I'm assuming it is real. I'm assuming that this did happen, but I just think it's so interesting because Lyle's always coming up with these crazy things, and he's trying to figure out ways out of this, almost as if there's still a way out of this. He's still kind of holding on to that hope, whereas Erik is kind of starting to acclimate to it and kind of starting to understand, like, I think this is just my life. So it's just really, really interesting. Okay, I did know, and I don't know if this is when it happens, but I do know that they got separated at one point. They had to, and they got separated after the trial as well. They got separated, and I'm assuming this is why, because he was making plans to escape.
This one was an escape plan.
Then 20 years later, I end up having to defend him. And because of my line of work, I see what happens when kids don't get the nurturing they need.
I'm gonna try to catch the train before it takes off. But I'm assuming that what's gonna happen is and I did read the plot of the episode. I read the plot of the episode. It's like on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember what the word is. But I think that she's a great defense attorney because she has a way of connecting with her clients the way that nobody else can. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There's a reason why she is their defense attorney. It could have been anybody in the fucking world. Anybody in the world could have picked up this case because it is that famous. But she's their defense attorney because they needed somebody to talk to. Truthfully, that's the only reason. Don't be fooled by the justice system in this. Like, please don't let that go over your head. That is so fucking important for you to understand. She becomes their defense attorney because they need someone to talk to. They need someone they can trust. They need someone to open up with. They need someone to care for them and nurture them in the way that only a mother could. And that's why they're showing us this little snippet of her wanting to be a mother and her explaining that she always ends up with a client who didn't get a good mother or who didn't get good parents, and now she has to defend them. I think that they needed peace, and the only way that they were ever going to get that is if somebody came in and listened to them, truly listened. And the only reason why it had to come through a defense attorney is because nobody else around them would have truly listened. Look at the families. They don't even listen when the lawyer is telling them that there's tapes. They don't listen. Nobody's listening to them. Nobody. So she's going to come in and she's going to get them to talk, and then they're probably going to find some peace. And it's going to feel great. What Erik is looking for is peace. Peace. Make your peace with what you did, and she's going to help him do that. She was sent. Don't let that go over your head, guys. She was sent.
But evil? You truly believe those Menendez boys are evil?
Yes. When you've stared evil in the face, as I have, it's something you never forget.
So you think they did?
What is evil? What is evil? Truthfully, you'd have to define evil. What is that? What is evil? Just somebody doing a really bad thing and not caring about it? Is that what evil is? What, like, you'd have to define evil. Evil in terms of religion, evil in terms of spirituality, evil in terms of being a human, evil in terms of, like I said, somebody doing a bad thing and not caring that they did it, showing no remorse, psychopaths, sociopaths. What is evil? Because if you're saying that you've looked at evil and they're not. They're not. So I gotta talk to this guy. I gotta talk to him. I'm gonna be like, what is evil? You tell me what evil is. Because they're not evil, clearly. Evil, if I feel like they've only committed the one crime, and yes, they tried to get away with it, and yes, they blamed a lot of different people, and yes, all the yeses that you want, you can have. You can have all these yeses. You can have all the yeses that you want. But they didn't kill anybody else. They didn't commit another crime.
How can a child even think of doing something like that to a parent?
Told you.
So you're saying only innocent people deserve a proper defense?
Who?
Leslie Abramson.
Did they have reason to believe, rightly or wrongly, that their lives were in danger?
She has a pathological affection for guilty clients.
So I think this is interesting, and the reason why I'm smiling so big is because I did see in one of the docu-series that I was watching about them, and of course I'm on TikTok, right? I'm just going through little parts, but I did see everybody say like this was the Leslie show. It was her show, and she was front and center, and she was in the spotlight, and yada yada, and her. And it's interesting because I want to know how, and I'm sure one of you guys can tell me, but how closely does she mirror the actual person? Because I have seen the actual person talking, and the way that she talks, to me, it just sounds like she's passionate. She's passionate. Now, here's one thing that I will say and I will stand by. And I've already said it. You can't refute the truth. The truth just is, right? You can't refute the truth. The truth just is. So for a defense attorney, you're not trying to refute the truth, because the truth is the truth. You cannot deny that. You can't refute it. You can't change it. You can't do any of that. What you're trying to do, though, is you're trying to find a different avenue to get to the truth. And that is possible. And that is where juries are so manipulatable. And so for her, she sounds very passionate about defending people who deserve to be defended, whether they're innocent or guilty. And I think that that's interesting because it can definitely play on your morals. It can play on kind of like right versus wrong, good versus bad. Like most people see defense attorneys as bad people because most of the time when we think about a defense attorney in that light, it's when they're defending somebody who's done a horrific thing, right? Like I don't think that I've ever seen anybody be upset about somebody defending somebody who robbed a grocery store. Nobody's ever been upset about that. And everybody is entitled to a defense because just what if they are innocent, right? So I think that she's just passionate and she loves her job and she's good at it. She's meant to do this. And so that's what you're hearing. And everybody kind of sees that as, oh, she wants a spotlight, or oh, this and that or that. But it's like, no, she's just passionate. She's passionate. She wants to I personally think she's trying to get to the truth too. Shit, my battery's gonna die, guys. So in it.
So I guess you could say outrage is your middle name.
Believe it or not, it's hope.
You know what? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I like her. I'm very, very interested to see her role in this. She said, actually, it's hope. She said, I'm coming and I'm giving these people hope. I got you.
I'm sure Dominic has been entertaining you ladies. You know, apart from being a failed movie producer, quite the raconteur.
Jerry Taylor says that you're the best female criminal defense attorney in all of LA.
I'm sure he didn't say that. Jerry wouldn't have said the best female criminal defense attorney. He simply would have said, I'm the best.
I need flowers to give her. I got some up there, but they're dead and they're far. I need flowers to give her, cause and that's on period. Ooh. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. That is so powerful. Yeah, he wouldn't have said that. He simply would have said, I'm the best. Like when you know, you know, you know? Like when you know, you know. And she knows. She knows she's good. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like her. Is that controversial? Am I the villain? No, I'm not the villain. Is that controversial? Does anybody else like her? Do we hate her? I don't know, guys. I don't think that I can hate her. She knows. Listen, it doesn't matter what you do. Just be the best. Truthfully, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you love. Clearly, she loves this and she is the best. Oh man, I love that. I love seeing people just know who they are. She knows who she is.
Now, the prosecution wanted you to believe that Arnell was a monster, that he carefully planned his father's murder for weeks and then shot him in his sleep in cold blood. Well, that is not what I believe happened.
Don't you just get so giddy at good transitions? I just get so giddy. It just makes you want to dance. It makes you feel good. Good transitions make me feel good. That was such a dope transition. It's such a dope transition. The inner cut game is so fucking good.
Has finally ended up murdering.
She's good. She's good. She's good.
And his final act of terrorism will be with you as his accomplices.
Let me explain something to you. Defense attorneys and attorneys in general, I have to say, because I've heard some great prosecutors, they're great storytellers, and you have to be a lawyer. On either side, you have to be a really good fucking storyteller. And I say that because it paints such a vivid picture, and you have to, and you learn this, right? I learned this in high school, maybe even grade school. I don't know. I feel like I'm old. But one of the things that you do when you write is you have to make your audience emote, whatever that feeling is, whether it's love, happiness, joy, sadness, guilt, shame. And that's what she's doing. She's making you emote by telling this story. And that is so powerful. You will be an accomplice. You are just as bad as what she's saying. You will be just as bad as his father. And that does something to people. It makes you look internally and go, well, am I that bad? Am I a bad person? Will that really make me just like his father? I don't want to be just like his father. And then you get the verdict that you want. She's very good at her job, and most people are when you're a good storyteller. And not everybody is gifted at being a storyteller.
Now, I can't guarantee you an outcome, but I promise you, I will put up one hell of a fight. The spending spree. That was you and your brother's first mistake. You look absolutely soulless and devoid of remorse. Another big mistake.
She is so good at her job. And if you can't if you don't agree and you can't put aside whatever you're feeling for her, whether it's hatred, whether you feel like she needed to steal the show, blah, 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 blah. If you can't put that aside and just see how good at her job she is, I don't know why you watch this then. I don't know. Because she's so good. The spending spree, that was your first mistake. Then you trusted the doctor. Then you were letting him record. It was just like, you did this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and you still want to sit here and tell me that you didn't do it? No. At this point, I know you did it. What's up? She's good. She's good.
Was killing your parents in the first place.
Thank you.
There was a reason.
You were sexually molested by your brother Lyle.
Hold the hell on. Okay. Ooh, wait, that one hit me like a freight train. It hit me like a freight train. Maybe it was just because I was expecting to hear her say your father, but she didn't, so she said Lyle. And I knew, but I didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know, okay? I heard the testimony about the toothbrush in the woods. I did hear this testimony when it was Lyle on the stand, like real life. And so I knew about that, but I didn't know that it was like a consistent ongoing thing. And I didn't know like that. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Okay. What does that change for me? I don't think it changes really anything. I think that that's just kind of the cycle, unfortunately. I think that Lyle was abused, so I think that that kind of passed down, and it's all he knew. I think that when you grow up and you are that, and that's all you've been taught, you think that that's the right thing to do and that's the right way, even if it doesn't necessarily feel right. You still think that that's the only, like, that's the way to do it. And I think that that's what was happening with Lyle. So I'm interested to see from Lyle's perspective. But wow, okay.
And when you didn't like it, or maybe even when you thought you did, how did it make you feel, Eric?
No, because who's asking that as a defense attorney? Genuinely. Who's asking that? Who is asking that as I love her Because who is asking that as a defense attorney? How did that make you feel? I want to know how you felt in that moment, because now we're about to do this with your feelings, because feelings are very, very real and they are very, very powerful. And it is such a beautiful, beautiful thing, because she is coming in and she's this nurturing mother figure for him. And this is exactly what he needs to talk about it. This is what Dr. Oziel should have been fucking doing. I don't know what he's been doing this whole damn time. Sleeping around. Ooh. 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 Looking like Peter Pettigrew.
Your father sexually molested your brother Lyle.
Yes. He told him it was like, this is what the Spartans did, and it made you tough. I don't know how long he did it with Lyle.
That is what I can't fucking, I don't think you understand how annoyed that makes me. It makes you tough. This makes you tough. You need to be tough as a man. I've heard that so many times across so many damn cultures, across so many damn people, across so many genders, and oh my God, it is so despicable. This makes you tough. You need to be tough. How about you need to have a healthy balance between your masculinity and your femininity? How about that? How about we got all these real masculine men who can't get in touch with femininity, and then when they can't get in touch with femininity, women don't want them, and then when women don't want them, they go out and try to take what they want from women, and then all of a sudden now we're getting these accusations. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like you keep teaching men to be tough, and the tough men that you are raising are the problem, babe. Why is that not clicking up here? The tough men that you're raising is literally the problem. I don't understand why that's not clicking for people. Stop. That's gotta stop. I know, guys, I know this was the 90s, but I be hearing people talk about it today too. That's not what men do. Really? Because I see more masculine women be better men than men. What was that? Exactly. Deadass. I see more masculine women be better men than men. I don't understand. Oh my God, I can't stand that.
I remember that time very vividly.
And why was that?
Because that's when my dad started doing it to me.
I don't care what anybody has to say. She's a great defense attorney. That's it. That's all. Case closed. Case closed. Case closed. Case fucking closed.
You try to play along just so that it will go faster. Or you sprinkle cinnamon onto his coffee, or put it on his food, or...
Wait, why cinnamon?
It just made the cum taste better.
Yeah, bro. I'm about to cry real life tears right now. Cause wow. Wow. Okay. Nickelodeon. Ironic. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Just like Jesus fucking Christ. Listen. It's just it's so fucking tragic that the Menendez brothers have to suffer because that was the only way that karma was going to get to the parents. It is so tragic that they have to suffer in prison because that was the only way these parents were going to get their karma. That's all. That's all. Allegedly. Whatever the fuck that word means.
I knew at some point that I was going to be willing to do anything just to make it all stop.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, Paris, great. Ian and David, wonderfully done. Ah! Leslie's finna come and get him. Get him, Leslie. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. Leslie's finna. Oh my God. Leslie sat back like this. Got your ass. Wow, wow, wow. And you guys, you told me to keep watching. And I thought that it was not going to get any worse. Honestly, I will take the blame for how fucking stupid that sounds. It's like the whole episode, you know what's crazy is like the last 3 episodes now, I've just kind of been waiting for this moment, like the pin drop, like you know what, I've just been waiting for this moment to kind of hear it for the first time out loud, because I didn't really know the extent of it. Like I knew that the parents were being accused of it, but I didn't know like the extent of it, when it started, why it started, how it started, what was going on during it. So like to hear that, especially the cinnamon thing, is so crazy. Like almost this close to bringing me to fucking tears. This close to bringing me to tears. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is interesting. And I'm wondering if now we're kind of going to get this split dynamic in episodes, because it's going to kind of go from Erik's perspective and then over to Lyle's perspective. And then I'm interested to see what she's going to do at the trial. I'm interested to see what the trial is going to look like. Obviously, I know the verdict. I know how this ends. But Jesus, man, this is tough. This is tough, man. And I think that I don't know anybody, truthfully, that would make this up. Like, truthfully. Like, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but, like, I'm just thinking about, like, the appeals and all of this bullshit. So I'm just thinking about like jumping ahead. Like I don't know anybody who would make that up. I don't know any man who would make that up. Like as much as I'm sitting here and I fucking can't stand that like be a man, like that most people who are taught that, which is what they were taught by their father, clearly, they don't just make shit up like that. And maybe I guess it would have been different if they had claimed that and they killed their parents and they called no one. They said, we just killed our parents and this is why. Maybe it would have been different. Maybe if they didn't try to hide it after, and then maybe it wouldn't have. Maybe it would have been the same shit, because nobody is going to believe that a parent would do that to their child. Just like nobody can believe that a child would do that to their parent. So it's just like this vicious cycle that they were stuck in this moment. And that is so fucking disheartening, bro. That is so disheartening, and it's so sad. And to even like, I don't even want to think about that. Like having to put some in, and then he tried to numb his taste buds. Like, no. Just no, mostly no. Ask me how my mental health is. No. I mean, this episode did everything I needed it to do, actually. I think that I'm good to stop here, and I'm gonna recuperate, and I'm sure I'll be back in 2 days to film the next couple of episodes. But yeah, no, that was a good episode. It was a good episode. I'm really excited. I finally got to meet Leslie. So I see the defense attorney. Now I'm interested to see who the prosecutor is and what that's gonna look like. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. This has been fun. I can't even express it to you guys. Like, thank you so much, because this has been so fun for me. I'm watching it. I'm gonna watch it no matter what. I'm gonna watch it with or without you, but sometimes it's just better to watch it with you guys. So yeah, this is fun. I'm excited to watch the next episode. If you stayed through the whole video, of course, thank you. I appreciate you. If you stayed through the whole video and you hated it, thank you, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry that you hated it. Oh gosh, take care of your guys' selves. Take care of your mental health. Be kind to yourself, most importantly. Be kind to others. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to process the end of this episode, man. Take care of your guys' selves. I will be posting on Patreon here soon, so we can connect over there. I'll probably do a chat room over there so we can all just connect in real time. I think it could be super fun to like go live and watch some stuff together. I want to live react with you guys. So yeah, like this has just been fun, and I'm excited for this journey, and I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to expect for these next couple of episodes. Truthfully, if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm terrified. I'm trembling. But yeah, thank you guys as always. Like I said, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, be good to yourself, be kind, and most importantly, I love you.